Hi guys, DriverLadyPro here. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been on this channel before and you are a delivery driver or a uh, rideshare driver, you are in the right place. So this article tonight is about Lyft getting sued. And Lyft is being sued by investors over allegedly misleading the IPO statements. So, um, by the way, this is a live stream video, and I'm going to try to fit the bulk of all the information in the first 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes of the video. But afterwards, we're going to try to go on and talk about other things. So sometimes we don't know where the conversation will go. So what the article, and I put the in the description, the article in the description below, but I also, maybe they need more light. Okay, so also the other thing I want to talk about is Uber's IPO. So let's get started with this. So it said investors are suing for damages from the ride-hailing company, alleging that Lyft overstated its market share. So Lyft is facing a class action lawsuit from investors who allege the ride-hailing business overstated its market position during its initial public offering. Now, the reason why I believe that Lyft is being sued is because they what did they start? They started out at like $50 or $55, and Uber started out at like $45. And Uber is an even bigger company than Lyft. But after we talk about this a little bit, maybe, Chris says 65. After we talk about, he said, missed what they got sued over. Okay, if you're just stopping into the room, I just got started. So the investors are suing for damages from the ride-sharing company for alleging that Lyft overstated its market share. So, and I think the reason why they're getting sued is because Lyft came out and said that they were worth X amount of dollars, and they started out at supposedly Chris says at 65, and now I think they're down below. They're down below 50. And the people they're losing a lot of money. If you guys know, Lyft keeps dropping and dropping, and that is because Uber, which is actually valued at a higher company, opened at $45 a share. And I have no idea why these companies, I have a friend that is a lawyer that knows why these companies do it and who decides what and why. But what I know from watching and investigating, from my investigations, these companies themselves are not the ones that make up their mind of why they of like where they should start the stocks out at. It's not just the company alone. They have like investment bankers and stuff like that that help them with their IPO. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the article for Uber, because Uber is, they're recognizing that Uber is, Uber had a bank, Chase Morgan, something that was really trying to pump up their stocks and buying a bunch of stocks, so it seemed like they were worth more, So Lyft is facing this class action lawsuit, and they're saying, people are saying that they're owed money because the shares have fallen $9.02. The Rosen law firm said on Friday that investors are also arguing that Lyft's public statement are false and misleading because more than 1,000 of its rideshare bicycles had safety issues leading to the recall, and because of allegations that Lyft's driver became disincentivized from driving for Lyft. So this is very true. We are and maybe disincentivized. That really doesn't mean that we're ticked off that we're not getting paid correctly, but maybe that's what they're trying to say. Disincentivized is like not getting your incentives and bonuses, and that is not necessarily true. Lyft didn't drop their incentives. So let me give a shout out to everybody in the room, because I got a bunch of people jumping in the room saying, hi, Mandy, and I do want to give a shout out. So we got Alex Miranda. House. Hey, Alex. Rick Reviews in the house. Chris B. Tampa in the house. Missed what they got sued over. Burnt, I'm not going to say the naughty name. Burnt says, Burnt in the house. Beacon of Light driver. You know what? I didn't even put my oxygen on. I'm sitting here like gasping for air. Hold on. I just came in from outside and I was just thinking about doing this, and I didn't realize I didn't even put my oxygen on from coming in and outside. Okay. So Beacon of Light driver in the house. Beacon of Light saying hi to Chris B. And then Chris B saying hi to Beacon. Then Frank L. Franco in the house. Seashell in the house. Sandy, I apologize. Sandy in the house. Says Rhode Island here. Welcome to the room, Sandy. Rocky Mountain Camper Girl in the house. Lyft Uber never should went IPO. Uber shouldn't have bought out Lyft. It should have bought Lyft. XM and Sirius thing with be better for us. You look better, Mandy. Dark Road Run in the house. Okay, so I really believe that eventually Lyft stocks are going to drop so much that Uber is going to buy out Lyft. So that's what I think. I think it's going to end up being that Uber is, and we don't really want Uber to buy out Lyft, because if you have Lyft, you have more options, okay? And already you have different, you don't want a monopoly, okay? So if Uber buys Lyft, I'll scream. Yeah, I think Uber is going to end up, because the awkward of, all right, Lyft is, when they went into this, when I started driving, Lyft had 15% of the market. Lyft now has 39% of the market. April, May in the house. Hey girl, no crybaby rideshare in the house. No one, everyone loves to hate in the house. No hate and positivity in here, bro. Okay, or broettes. Lyft is so much better than Uber. I would like to think so, but a lot of times Lyft does exactly the same thing as Uber, and there's been many times that Lyft has had the upper hand and could have taken over, and they did not. And I think the reason is because SoftBank owns Lyft, and SoftBank also owns Uber, and Google is in bed with Lyft, and Google has stocks in Uber. So there's been times they're two, yeah. Franco says, I think they're two peas in a pod. And Uber stock is broken. It keeps crashing, says Dark Road Run. Well, it's doing a little bit better. I haven't looked at it today. But yeah, it's doing a little bit better, but we're going to get to that. Let me finish. I've been saying hi to everybody and I haven't gotten. So Lyft filed for its IPO in March with shares initially offered at $72, and then it closed at 78 at the end of their day. All right, guys, if I offer a share at $72, when you buy that share, you are taking a chance on it, okay? There's no guarantee with that share of exactly if you're going to be able to get it. Now, the reason why Lyft is losing in market share, I personally believe, or in shares in the stock market, is because Lyft opened at 72, whereas Uber opened at 45, and people are like, wait, Lyft is not as big of a company, it's not as valuable as Uber, and it's not as big, it's not as worth, and now I'm paying more for Lyft stock and less for Uber stock. So that's the whole thing that's why I think Lyft is losing market share. It's because because like these banks, I guess, set up they make up, how much can we sell this for? How much, he said, Franco says 13 watching, but only 7 thumbs up. Guys, give me more thumbs up. I need more thumbs up. If I get, let's say, 100 thumbs up, I'm trying to get people to give me 100 thumbs up, and they can choose. Well, I don't have the background right now, but let's see. Let me see if I don't know if I can get 100 thumbs up on this video or any of my videos, because I haven't gotten any yet, then you can choose my background for my live stream videos on my computer. When I sit down to my computer, I'm not in front of my computer. I was going to do it outside today, but all right. So and then it does mention in the article, just like what we said, but I think this suing thing, it says, for the quarter ending March 31, Lyft reported revenues of 776 million, higher than the 739 million forecasted by analysis, and it's predicting between 800 and 810 million in revenues for the quarter ending in June. The thing is about Lyft that people don't understand is Lyft is a lot more profitable and a lot more closer to profitability than Uber is. Lyft has been more calculated about the way they grow, and they're not going out and just blowing their money all over the place on self-driving cars that they cannot afford. Like Uber is like hemorrhaging money a lot more. Like Lyft is not offering as many driver incentives as Uber. Okay, Uber does a lot more driver incentives than Lyft. That's why I drive for what? I drive more for Uber because Uber has more incentives. But the whole idea being is that I need to find the lid to this. Where is it? The whole idea being is that Lyft Uber really, I mean, everybody says Uber doesn't have all this money to burn, and what do? They keep burning. I don't hear people saying that as much about Lyft as they do about Uber. Lyft is a lot closer to profitability and a lot more likely to see profitability sooner than Uber. So just at that, Lyft has reported that its numbers of active riders grew from 14 million a year ago to 20 million now. So this is what I understand. This is what I understand about this article, or not this article, about why when you sue somebody, and maybe the article isn't telling enough. Certainly I know when I read an article, now that I've been doing the Chicago Rideshare Advocates and the Alliance for Independent Workers and all the protests and stuff, we have so many media companies give false information about us, and then they're trying to say this and that about, oh, we want to be employees, we want better benefits, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to be treated fairly and get paid properly. And I mean, seriously, we give out and tell people this stuff, but they still make up. I don't know who they're talking to, but they're not talking to us. So what I'm saying is there is a possibility in these particular things that they are misreporting what is going on, because if a company outright tries to lie, and I don't know if Lyft actually tried to lie here. I mean, I'm sure they did. Uber did, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the next article. Uber. Let's just go to the next article and then we'll discuss that. So if you're just stopping in, we're talking about Lyft and Uber IPO. Lyft is getting sued by its investors, but Uber, on the other hand, is not getting sued by its investors, at least not yet. Okay. So, where did that go? The Uber. So when Uber, from what I understand, okay, and I put the link in there, but I don't know if I have it in this one. I always make sure I get this stuff straightened out. Okay, so Chase, I read the article, but I didn't understand a lot of it. Okay, and that's just because I don't understand the stock market well enough to be able to understand. But apparently, what JP Morgan Chase or whatever, they prepared the Uber for its IPO, and what they do is they go in and they say they are the ones that say, oh, you could probably sell this at $45 a share. They're the ones that set everything up and get this IPO going. And then what they do is they ramp up, and in the article, it's in the thing below. What they do is they buy, say 200 shares, and they buy it at a value to ramp up the price even more. And then but they only end up selling 180 shares. So, Dustin in the house. So what ends up happening is Uber looks like a bulked up company. So, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so Lyft kind of bulked themselves up. And I mean, we as drivers know that Lyft has been bulking itself up because it's been going and saying, oh, hey, look, we got all these drivers, and they're going to, they're signing up all these drivers at the lot, and they're looking like they're this big company. I mean, and bio rights, that, I mean, maybe it does make them look bigger, and that's the whole idea. Is that shady? It's kind of immoral, but I mean, is it outright lying about what its value is? Not sure. I'm not. So we got somebody else. Let me see what the comments are. Okay. Justin says thumbs up to the stream, everyone. Thank you. We got 16 people in the house, but we only have 14 likes. Come on, guys. Where's those other 2 likes? Come on. I was a pro trader. That's what happens in the entire market. That's why the market levels we are now at now, BS. Believe me, bad times are coming. It's common in the market to do this. Yeah, and this is what I don't understand. J-Lo in the house. So, hi, Mandy. Dustin sent me here. It's my first time here, but not my last. Thank you, J-Lo. Yeah, I know, and they all like bulk things up and get things going. And I don't know a lot about stocks, but what I do know is you really shouldn't be even investing in a company until they've been going for a year. Okay, you don't gauge the value of a company at its IPO. Oh, the reason why you buy the stocks at its IPO is you want to get them low, okay? Because you think maybe they're going to grow bigger, 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 bigger. Yes, Ace, yes, it's speculation. And then Thomas in the house says, invest in Bitcoin. I don't know about that. So JP Morgan shorted stocks it didn't have while hoping to buy them back at a profit. It didn't. Yeah, but it was somehow when I read from the article, somehow it was still making money by selling shorted stocks. Somehow, because they were selling them instead of buying them from Travis Kalanick, they were buying them on the market. So they were still making money from them, even though they were selling shorted stocks. That's what I understand from the article. But I like I said, I have a lawyer friend that knows more about it than I do. I don't know everything about it. I'm just being honest with you. But what the investors are suing over is they're saying Lyft lied in their IPO. Thomas says he misses Travis. Bitcoin is worth 8,000, gold about 1,020. Oh, that's serious. Well, see, I was watching an article that said, actually, I'm just going to turn this shit off because it is bothering me. So it was, sorry, I have frankincense going, but it's just bothering me. They say frankincense will kill lung cancer, so I don't know how they lied. If they lied in their IPO, I don't know how they lied. I don't know. I don't understand how they lied by saying their shares are worth 72, and then all of a sudden Uber comes out with 45. I mean, Lyft wasn't lying when they said, well, maybe we can get 72. I mean, I don't understand how they lied. They have to be, like, in a court of law, they have to be proven that they were doing some shady crap. And, coming out and trying to get investors, when you have the bank buy some stocks, I mean, that's common practice. I don't know if that's shady crap. I mean, that maybe morally that's not great, but you're not lying. That's what investors, banks are sponsors hairs at. Okay, don't know the details, but they're saying Lyft overstated their value. Uber has made no profits ever. I know, and Lyft is closer to profitability than Uber. But what Lyft is going to end up being is the longer that Lyft can hold their position, the more Lyft will be worth when Uber says, we're just going to buy Lyft. I could argue the IPO was some shady crap. Oh yes, and all the drivers knew it. All the drivers knew it, or at least not all the drivers, but a lot of us knew it, because now our markets are now, sorry, the kitty thinks this is her playground. I'll watch her a little bit better. Now I mean, they're signing up drivers left and right at the TMP lot just so they can get themselves, and they're oversaturating the market with drivers. And then now they're saying the growth is slowing. That Uber and Lyft's growth is slowing. It was going up and up and up and up, and now it's not going up and up and up. Uber lies and lied about everything. Exactly, says Scott Walsh. Oh, Roy Watkins in the house. Hi, Mandy. Glad to see you're looking better today. Guys, I feel better. It's a race to the bottom. See who can bleed the most, and it's coming out of the drivers. Exactly. Now, listen here. I'm waiting for, I haven't bought the stocks yet, but I'm waiting for them to dip below 30. I am hoping that the stocks will dip below 30 and stay below 30 for a lot longer, so that the CEO doesn't get his bonus. I stopped driving 2 months ago. One of the best decisions I ever made. Uber is modern day slavery, says Precision Tactics in the house. So so this is the thing. I should have gotten a water before I started this. Can you guys hold on? I'll go grab a water, because I can't. I get going and blabbing, and my mouth gets dry. And hold on a sec, just 1 second. All right, quick run. Can't run with the, there we go. So I don't know a lot about doing this investing thing, but I did not know until Uber and Lyft. I didn't know that every time the market changes, I gotta catch my breath. When it goes down $2 or $3, I didn't know they lose tons of value over going down $2 or $3. I didn't know that. There's so much I don't know about it. Drivers for higher earnings are decreased for everyone. Even illegal taxi oversaturate the market. Taxis, even when illegal taxis I don't know about illegal taxis. I don't know if there are illegal taxis. I am friends with a guy that owns a taxi company, and he said it's a lot easier to scam on Uber and Lyft than it is on the taxi company. Uber and Lyft, you don't even have to show up, because all you have to do is sign up on an app. 1.7 billion Uber shares, multiply that by the share price, and you get the market cap. Oh yeah, I see. I didn't understand that before. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Yeah, this is funny. I don't know if I put this in there, guys. I use Robinhood, and I got turned on to Robinhood by, I should put that in my description so you all can. Robinhood is an app that you can invest, and you can invest in the stock market. And I feel that it's an important idea to invest in the stock market, and it doesn't cost you to invest. They don't just, if you go to an investment firm, it costs you. Robinhood gets money by selling you a plan, and you don't have to buy the plan. You can just buy shares if you want. And I really liked Robinhood, but every time I go on Robinhood, they're trying to say Uber, they put out this advertisement that Uber may be down right now, but don't worry, buy now. Now is the time to buy Uber stocks. And I'm like, I don't know about that. John Chingas sounds like a Mexican. Johnny Chingas sounds like a Mexican name. Hola. Hi, Driver Lady Pro. Johnny Chingas in the house. Have you read a book called World Without Cancer? The story of vitamin B by Edward Griffin. All right. Johnny Chingas. Okay, I'm going to ask you. I won't remember this. My memory is that of a fly. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, can you email that name of that book to me at driverladypro@gmail.com. All one word, driverladypro@gmail.com, and then I will check it out. Okay, because you aren't the first one that said something about vitamin B. You should research how Saudi Arabia treats its taxi drivers. Wow. And Uber and Lyft drivers are treated worse. I don't know anything about Saudi Arabia, but I know that I've met a lot of customers that were from different countries, and they're like, what do you think about that Uber? Now, I make it a purpose not to trash Uber in my car, okay? And I will say, I won't trash them, because you never know if it's going to be the CEO's brother or the CEO's cousin. I did have a guy that worked for Uber in my car at one point in time. So don't trash. If you are a driver, please do not trash this Uber in your car. But what I do say is, well, the honest truth is, this is what's going on right now. They have dropped our pay. That is not trashing Uber. I'm not saying, oh, Uber's a bad job. They don't want to come to your car and listen about how terrible your job is. But if you say, well, if you honestly want to know what's going on, we've been getting pay cut over pay cut. That is stating a fact. Okay, that's not trashing. Okay, I'm not giving my opinion. Rideshare limitation in the house, or limitation rideshare in the house. Amy Dean in the house. Okay, so we got 19 people in the room. Please but I only got 18 lights. I need at least one more light, guys. We're trying to go for 100. If I get 100, I usually have like a backdrop thing. You can pick the color of the backdrop. If you want it paisley, we'll make it paisley. If you want it to be books, we'll try and find books in the background. So if you happen to be watching this later on and you are the 100th sub, make sure you hit that comment say I'm the 100th sub, and I will make sure I get back to you. I'm the 100th sub, or email me at driverladypro@gmail.com, and I will make sure I get back to you, and we will find a new background together. Okay, let's see. I took Uber in Vegas, and they pay their drivers fairly. Maybe one day they'll do the same in LA. Oh, in Costa Rica, Uber is illegal, so drivers pick up low key. So that is the case in other small countries. Now, you said Vegas, they pay their drivers fairly. From what I am understanding, is maybe I don't know. I don't know a lot about Vegas, but when I drop off at Vegas has a lot of strip clubs, and whenever I drop off at a strip club, they give me a $10 bonus here in Chicago. Okay, but I'm guessing they probably give you a $10 bonus per person. Okay, so you got to count that, because I don't know if Vegas has gone along getting the price cut, but all over the United States, certain states and cities are starting to get their per mile dropped. And if you look in there, your per mile is dropping. Now they are upping your per minute, but it doesn't make up for the drop in the per mile. So people don't believe this, but we are making less than we were before. So just so you know. Okay. Limitation Rideshare says, "What's up, everybody?" And then Beacon of Light Driver says, "Thumbs up, everyone. Woo-hoo." And then Uber drivers think gypsy cabs are a new thing. No, I have been approached here in Chicago by gypsy cab. And the police are driving around trying to find them, and they still get away with it. So now we have a third world taxi service in America. No, what I'm saying is was it Peru? I've had a Peruvian guy say it's illegal for Uber and Lyft to operate. I think it was Peru. I'm not sure, but I think he said he was from Peru. But I don't know if y'all know, but I have heard in other countries it's very difficult to drive anyway, because the cabbies will get out and beat the crap out of your car, and they will do crap to you, and they make you pick up farther away from the cabbies, and they make the customers walk way even farther to get to you, because the cabbies are so angry. There's a strip club offering $140 a head here in Vegas. Woo, woo, that's what I'm talking about. And we get $10 a head here. Las Vegas taxi cabs did more trips at the Consumer Electronics show. Uber is illegal in Russia and Germany. Okay, and part of the reason I think that is actually, I don't know if you guys realize this. I just recently I watch other people's channels, and Uber, I don't know if y'all realize this, but Uber doesn't do a proper background check. Just saying, we got Checker doing it. Checker's not doing a good job, because what Checker does is they check. My name is Mandy Martinez, okay? But there's so many Mandy Martinez. You just Google the name Mandy Martinez, and you will see a bazillion Mandy Martinezes, right? And then Checker finds a Mandy Martinez, and they say, "Oh, it must be her. She has a bad background." And if you know me, I'm like I've always had an awesome background. So I have no idea why, but and this is common with people that go through Checker, and they could be working for 6 years or 5 years or something like that for Uber, and then all of a sudden they get deactivated because Checker seems to think this Checker system is not it. And I think Uber is going to get their butts burned on that. This not doing fingerprinting. They're going to get their butts burned. Part of the reason why Uber cannot take underage people is because in a lot of states, you cannot take underage people unless you have fingerprints. And they do not want to fingerprint all their people. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you guys know this, but Uber just dropped from paying, if you get in a car accident, it used to be you'd get covered for $1 million. Now you're only covered for $250,000. That is a big drop. Plus you can't take minors. They're trying to cut corners, and when they were trying to cut corners when they were doing that self-driving car, and they got their butts burned, and they're going to get their butts burned again, you know. So let's see what everybody has to say. Ace says, ahead, was that pun intended? Head. No, I'm talking about every person that gets in the car. I get $10 per head, like a person. I don't know what, I missed the whole thing. And Hong Kong and Japan. Yes, well, okay, maybe, yeah, Hong Kong and Japan. Well, it's, yeah, I don't know about those countries, about Hong Kong or Japan. And a lot of times, communist countries like are not so inviting to other people coming in either. They're not so inviting to other things. They have to have like their own closed system. So yeah. Okay, and then change your life. Okay, change your life. This is kind of no towel head Uber driver. Only Lyft drivers are towel heads. Okay. Uber is big in India where drivers make less than $10 a day. Yes, and I've met people that said people are ticked off. They, I don't know if you realize this. My spouse is from Mexico, and I don't know a lot about India, but I know a lot. I know some about my spouse telling me about Mexico, and we all hear about stuff being told about Mexico and third world countries taking advantage of the fact that these third world countries don't have a minimum wage, so we're going to pay them even less, which is BS. It's BS. Yeah. Indians don't wear towels, only in Pakistan. I don't know. Uber is getting sued in London for not paying taxes. I think they were getting sued in I'm running out of breath. Let me take a second. So they were getting sued in Canada. I don't know if they got that straightened out. I would imagine they straightened out. What they do is they straighten all this stuff out before they go on their IPO. So I don't know if this is something that just happened or is something that happened before, but they tried to straighten all that stuff. Okay. So London has a 40% tax. Dang. Uber is illegal in most Canada. I'll turn we got Jesus Christ in the house. Jesus Christ, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Jesus. Okay, I'll turn Uber CEO water into wine so he gets a DUI. Okay, Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know, like I said, I'm just telling you what I read in these articles. I try to keep this channel more of like a commentary channel, and I try to keep this upbeat, but you know that I do not have a favorable opinion of either Lyft or Uber, because I feel like they've constantly have gotten over on the drivers, and it's almost like Silicon Valley has always been like, you ever play that game King of the Hill, was it, or King of the Mountain, and people would get on top of the mountain and push people off? I think they did it in the winter time, and it's kind of like whoever's on top is the winner, but nobody really ended up staying on top very long. And that's kind of what it feels like with Uber and Lyft. Uber is illegal in many U.S. airports too. Lyft needs to start expanding their market if they want to increase their stock. I am not sure that, I think what Lyft is what's going to be better is if Lyft continues to stop, if they don't like both for both Uber and Lyft. What Uber is doing right now is they're showing that they're not losing as much money, and people want to see profitability, and they're not going to get a lot of, and these people are like suing over this. They're not a profitable company yet anyway. And most generally, the general rule is you don't really know if things are going to work out within the first year anyway. Scott Walsh. Uber is not allowed in most U.S. military bases. They have, no Crybaby says they have to show growth in the market. When Scott Walsh says Uber is the mouse roared. Well, I think both Lyft and Uber are mice roaring, and us drivers have always known that. There's a lot of people that might drive full-time for one and part-time for the other because how is Uber going to make a profit? Uber is banking on making a profit, and this is how they're going to make a profit. They're not going to make a profit doing rideshare. They are banking on other areas, such as Uber Eats is getting closer to profitability. Scott Walsh, let's see here. So Uber is going to be trying to make a profit in things like Uber Eats, Lime scooters, in things like Uber Eats, Lime scooters, not 1 cent of profit. They're going to try and show profitability in other areas beside the rideshare, because right now the rideshare part is not going to be profitable until they think self-driving cars are coming. But the problem is, like we did a story yesterday about self-driving cars, and a self-driving car with LiDAR, okay, the ones that are driving around, the Tesla ones. Oh, and flying taxis too, says Scott Walsh. The Tesla ones, of course, they have Teslas all over, but people are getting in accidents easier with these Teslas because they don't have LiDAR. And LiDAR, as I explained yesterday in my video, or the day before or something like that, LiDAR goes out. It's like a bat, puts the laser out and then comes back and gives it a picture of what's in front of it. Whereas, and it's more reliable than just a camera or my camera on I have a car that has a type of self-driving technology. My car is a 2017, and what it has is, when there's a car in front of me, the camera will recognize there's a car in front of me, and if I'm in cruise control, it'll slow the car down. It'll see that car in front of me, and it'll slow the car down so that it's still in equal distance, but still going, okay? So I won't hit that car in front of me. But there are times where it won't slow down, okay? So that is what Tesla's doing. Tesla's using not using LiDAR, they're using just cameras and radar and all that. Uber in London is going to be kicked off for so many rapes. Okay, I think that Uber and Lyft are going to end up having to start doing better background checks. Eventually, they're going to have to do better background checks. They're going to have to fingerprint all of their people. They're trying not to have to do that, but they are going to end up having to do that because people are getting raped, murdered, killed. People are not paying attention to drivers getting raped, murdered, or killed, but they are to passengers. And the more passengers that end up getting raped, murdered, and killed, the more the general public will stand up and say, we are not, we will not put up with it. He says he likes my shirt. Snapcat. This is, I bought this at Walmart like a year ago. So, yeah, I want your shirt. You gotta be kidding me, right? About meow. Yeah, I'm a cat lover. Well, I'm an animal lover. Yeah, so, and all my shirt, I went back to Walmart to see if they are putting out these awesome shirts like this. They aren't this year. I don't know what their deal is. Maybe they will in the summer, but the spring fashions are not the, and I got this in the guys section. Like, I don't know how this is a guy. I mean, I guess guys will like this, but I'm sure all the women were going over there buying them too, you know? So anyway, I really have been thinking about what can I do right now? What can I do to make money, and how can I make money right now? And I think still, if I want to be able, if I want to drive, I'm probably going to have to get back out there and drive as an Uber driver. I'm waiting for them to hook me up with one of those air tanks that change the air into oxygen. And then I may just get back out there and drive maybe just a couple of days a week to make some extra dough. And I feel like, you know, maybe once I actually get, love cats. Your cat looks like mine. Thank you. My cat is like a long-haired tiger cat. I love her. Let's see. Okay, Uber's hiring in New York City has been frozen. Okay, the other cities are working at doing that too. I don't know if you know that, but they're working here in Chicago to do that also. They're also working in San Francisco. And the reason is, and they don't need that in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, I'm originally from that area in Grand Rapids, and you know, maybe they don't, their market isn't oversaturated there, but a lot of people, I know at least one person in particular that comes to Chicago just so they, on the weekends, just to make money. They drive the 3 hours, maybe they have family here, and they come here to make money, and then they go home. They can't do it on the Uber app, but they can do it on the Lyft app. Okay, and so the market here ends up being saturated. And where in Mexico is your spouse from? Oaxaca. Yes, we have a house in Oaxaca. Right now, my spouse's mother, she's almost 90, she's 79, and she's renting it out. So we don't have to like send her money. We send her money anyway, because, you know, they don't have things for elderlies. So yeah, Oaxaca. Yeah, Oaxaca, Mexico. It's a beautiful area. And a lot of people around this particular area are from the same, as I'm meeting everybody in this area, they're like all friends with my spouse. I'm like, y'all decided to just all come to this area from Oaxaca. So a lot of Oaxaca people here. Uber needs 80,000 drivers in Atlanta to compete with the 130. They probably they probably do have 80,000 drivers in Atlanta. They've been trying to. Oaxaca is awesome. I went to Mont Alban in Huerva el Agua. I haven't been there yet. I haven't even met my suegra, which suegra is my mother-in-law. We are getting we're getting visas in order and stuff like that. So it might take a while because we're waiting on government, you know. But we will be going sometime. So then he says 1382D. I don't know what that is. I stayed just south of there for 3 months. So my spouse is from a little town in Oaxaca, little town, and the place, it's beautiful, like when you're not in the big cities, where all the crime is. There's a bunch of people. Like the little town, everybody knows everybody, you know, like in anything going on, everybody knows what's going on because you got your neighbors looking out the window going, what's going on, you know what I mean? So that's what you want. The mole and chocolate is so dumb there, is so bomb there. Yum yum. I don't know about mole. Oh, mole, duh. I absolutely freaking love mole. And they told me this mole, it's a dish. It's a Mexican dish, if anybody doesn't know. It's kind of like it has a little bit of chocolatey ness to it. And I feel like it also has kind of a beef, but it's just, and they put it over chicken. Is so, I love it. But some people don't like it. Some people absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. What are you doing, you naughty kitty? Yes, say hi. Say hi. Yeah. So the mole, what they did is they told me when I went to visit my sister-in-laws in Florida, there's so many iguanas there, and they sit out on the roofs, and they just bask in the sun. And they walk across. They're everywhere, in Florida. And well, what the Mexicans are used to doing is they hunt and get their food that way. So they go out and get the iguanas, where we think they're just pets. They go and get the iguanas and they prepare the food like that. So they made mole, and they told me it was organic chicken. And then when I ate it, I'm like, oh, this is good. And they're like, it's actually iguana. And I'm like, oh wow. So that's the funny joke that in the family. And then I go, so can I have some organic chicken mole? I'm getting behind here. All right. 1382 taxis before Uber, 1382 taxis today. It's the same everywhere. There's a lot less taxis than there are Ubers, and they shouldn't be allowing so many Ubers. The cat's pawing at the window, like, dingy. There's so many taxis, and because they cap the taxis. And what they need to do is they need to cap the Ubers, especially in these big cities where they have already capped the taxis. And the reason why they've capped the taxis is the taxis have gone through the same darn thing that the Uber and Lyfts are doing. Okay, before the taxis, people used to, let's do this taxi thing. And they capped the taxis. Okay, and then they made the medallion system and made it harder for people to just become a taxi driver. Okay, and you had to have a medallion, and if you had this medallion, then you could have so many whatever. Okay, but now they have tons more Ubers that don't have to have a medallion, and they need to level the playing field. The avocados and mangoes are the best in the world. And they're a lot cheaper, I'm sure. Every time we go to the store, my spouse says, these limes are way too expensive. They're like 30 cents a piece. And then in in Mexico, they're probably, you know, 5 for a penny or something. Or the equivalent, because you know they're on pesos. Uber destroys the roads and clogs the roads. Yes, you know what? We had a bridge break here in Chicago on Lakeshore Drive, and then they blamed it on Ubers and Lyft, and we're like, maybe you should start like putting a cap on the Ubers and Lyfts, but they want to make a congestion tax. Molly is like Hershey's chocolate in the bottle, he says. It doesn't, I don't think it tastes like Hershey's chocolate, but it is. I mean, people that love, I don't know, chocolate lovers would be like Hershey chocolate. Hershey chocolate, some people don't think Hershey's chocolate is the best. I personally like Lindt chocolate, but Molly is really yum. If I wear a sombrero behind you, I would pass for Tapatio hot sauce guy. Yeah. There's a Tapatio store in a restaurant in my hometown, and the tacos that they make there are just not as good as the tacos they make here in Chicago. I don't know, it doesn't seem as authentic, but maybe it's just because they're from a different part of Mexico. I don't know. And they put it on chicken. Yes, they put this, like, it's kind of like it's a chocolatey, but it's also a beef. You don't go, oh, that's chocolate. You don't go, oh wow, that's chocolate. You just gotta try Molly one time. Frank Franco says, I can't eat Molly. Well, you got to try it. Oh, maybe you can't eat chocolate. Drug dealers love Uber and Lyft. Yes, and I know, listen, I'm sure that who else loves Uber and Lyft is these parents that just send their underage children. And I was watching this video by this other person talking about how people would just call Ubers and Lyft to send their kids to soccer practice instead of running their kids around. They just, I'll just call an Uber and I know people that actually have kids, but I don't know if you know this. I don't know if y'all know this. And it needs to be like a big warning message. Did you know that if you send your child with a stranger, you can have your child taken away? CPS will have your child taken away. You can get your child taken away. So these parents that have their kids riding around, even if they're 16, even if they're 17, you can get your child taken away if you send them to soccer practice with an Uber, Okay. Well, I don't think of that, Scott Walsh. Probably ideal them to be incognito. Uber brings crime to everywhere they go. When was invented, the tragedy of the commons was diagnosed, and big cities limited the number of cabs. I saw an Uber driver who worked all last week and only made $70. Wow. I'm wondering if they were one of those people that ended up getting into one of those, those car loans. Those car loans they're like, those car loans are like those checking to cash where you go in, or no, not checking. Is it checking to cash where you can borrow cash against your next check? Check, is it check and go or something like that, where you go in and, guys, I never used to lose my voice like this. I don't know what's up. Those money companies, Jim Seagull in the house. Yo, cool. I caught you live. Woohoo! All right. So we're just talking about, we already talked about Lyft's investors are suing them. And I have the personal opinion, this is kind of a commentary / news channel. It is kind of my personal opinion that when you invest, you are like investing and you don't know if you're going to win or if you're going to lose. But they're trying to say Lyft amped up their stocks, which I mean kind of is par for the course. A lot of these companies amp up their stocks, but I don't know if they actually committed a crime and like lied. And it didn't really talk in depth, and then we talked about Uber and Chase Morgan Bank and how Chase Morgan Bank intentionally would go out and buy like 207 stocks and they would only sell 180 stocks. And these companies do this purposefully to amp up they open your IPO for you. They do this, and there's some benefit to it. And I'm not sure. I don't know I don't know a lot about stock companies, but yeah, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, you're thinking about payday. Yeah, payday advance loan companies. Exactly. Sorry, payday advance loan companies. You're right. And Scott makes a very good, important thing. Scott Walsh says Uber is like a payday loan company. Uber and Lyft are, because they have the instant cash option. You can cash out instantly. If you have watched one of a popular video done by Rideshare Revolution, he talks about how he does not do instant cash out. He works all week and then he cashes out one time. And he doesn't like pay all his bills to the point, leave it so he only has a little bit of money and then he cashes out so that he can pay the next bill. You know, he doesn't do that. And that is the problem with Uber and Lyft. A lot of people want that instant gratification. And I am certainly, you know, there's been many times where I had a bill and I went out and worked just so I could get that bill paid. And then I went home, you know, and I got up the next day and I did the same thing over again. And that is the rat race that you get yourself in. Rideshare Revolution says you need to not put yourself in that position. And I certainly believe that the more I watch this and see, I am not the only one. I see a lot of people that do this. They work just so they can get this one bill paid, and then they work again to get another bill paid. And then they're like, how do I get even a savings? You know, and that's not it. And I understand once you get in that rat race, it's hard to stop. And the only way you can stop is like go broke, you know, or drop what you have. So the instant cash out, Uberman Tampa in the house. Fat Man, woo-hoo. Hi guys, Fat Man, we are talking about the Lyft and Uber IPO, and Lyft's investors are suing them, and I think the reason why they're suing them is partially because they opened at $72 per share, and Uber opened at $45 per share. But investing is like personally, I believe investing is like a gamble. And so I don't know if I don't see it didn't state in the article, but I don't know if there's more to the story. But they're stating that Uber overpriced their market share than what it really was. And we've been talking about, and they did say that like some of their bikes, they didn't talk about how some of their bikes were broken and stuff. Truth Warrior in the house. Hi, Uber Lady Pro. Please don't call me Uber Lady Pro. I did that this week so I can pay an unexpected legal bill. I did this so I don't have to take it out of my savings. Yeah, very good idea. I'm not lazy. I work full-time job and Uber is a side hustle. Yes, very, very good idea. I think I personally, I feel like if you get, and it's on an individual basis. Some people were like, they go out and they think Uber's fantastic because when they're doing it, they're not trying to pay this next bill. They're not going, okay, I need this money so I can pay this $400 electric bill. Okay. What they're doing is they're just going out, let's have fun. I need some money. I'm going to use this. I'm going to put it in savings or whatever. They're not going, oh, I need this money. And that is when you get to the point where it becomes like a grind, you know. It becomes a grind. When you go and you're going out and you go, okay, I'm going to go out from 3 until 11. And you make yourself go out and you discipline yourself to go out. And you go out every day. And I'm not very good at it because sometimes I am more disciplined than maybe when I was 23. But I can't say that I'm really super wonderful at being disciplined. But those people that get up and they try to get out by a certain amount of time, so they know this is the certain amount of time that they can maximize their earnings, and they get out at those certain times, those people end up doing better at Uber than those people that just kind of walk out and go, oh, I'm going to try to make money today, but then they do 3 hours and go home. And you're not really maximizing your time out on the road if you aren't doing it during certain times and stuff like that. Uber and Lyft cook their books. Wall Street says that is illegal. Uber and Lyft cook their books. Wall Street says that is illegal. Looked up fraud in the dictionary. Look up fraud in the dictionary. Well, I don't have a dictionary with me right now, but if they're cooking their books, maybe it's considered fraud. I don't know. I make a money goal. Once I hit it, I quit for the day or the week. There you go. Okay, you can say, well, I'm going to make $200 tonight. And that's my money. Kitty, get out of there. You're not getting any. She tries to get cookies, and she will spend all day trying to convince us to give her cookies. Get out of there. You know you're not going to get any cookies. Yeah, that's why she's putting her nose in. Is that cookies? Is there cookies in there? Yeah. Come here. Come here. Come on. Stay out of the thing. You're not getting any cookies. Yeah. All right. They did cook their books, and all the drivers knew they cooked their books. I don't know. The problem is they're going to have to prove that they're cooked their books. That is the problem. If they have proof, and there's so much more to the articles, and what I was saying earlier is the thing is you don't know the whole story because a lot of these articles aren't entirely accurate. There's been so many times just for the May 8th. So many times people reported crap on the May 8th shutdown, and it was like, come on, really? This is not what's really going on. They're saying all these crazy stuff, and that is not what's going on. And we're like, what? So I'm not saying that this article is 100% true. It's not. But I was going off what the article said to talk about this particular subject, about whether or not you thought, and that's what I guess that's what I want to ask you guys. Do you really think that Uber and Lyft cooked the books? Some people, Jim Seagull says, I just max out on my time until they tell me I can't work. Ha ha ha. See, Jim Seagull. They give us here. I don't know. Are you a Chicago driver? Here they give us 10 hours and then you're max out. I'm going to tell you, 10 hours of driving is quite a bit. Uber is operating in several countries where Uber is illegal. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know. He says it's a set up algorithm. Okay, but that's not what we're talking. We're talking about like what we're talking about is like the IPO. Well, they're boiling us frogs slowly, and why not do it over cooked books? Yeah, I don't know the specifics. He says, Truth Worry says that it is. And then Suburban Driver, that comment about the cookbooks was, so I don't know if Lyft, I don't know if they have some, they didn't say in the article, they didn't even say in the article what made it so, I mean, they said two things. That they didn't talk about how a lot of their Lime bikes or whatever, not Lime bikes, their scooters or whatever were broken. So they went and said, oh, they misrepresented by saying their scooters are broken. Maybe that's cooking the books. It probably is. Maybe the judge will see it that way. But the other thing is what was the other thing? Oh, maybe, and I seriously think by them saturating the market and not sharing, I think they said the over incentivizing the drivers, and I'm like, wait, or under incentivizing. I think maybe what they were talking about in the article about incentivizing the driver, they don't incentivize very much. Lyft doesn't do very much incentivizing where Uber does. And then Uber's drivers are ticked off. Then way more ticked off. So Truth says, what about the drivers in DC that were manipulating the surge? Brilliant move. Yeah, a brilliant move. Not. I already did an article about that. I really, that was going on the short bus. I'm sure they all ended up getting deactivated, especially the ones that showed their face on camera. I don't know. Jim Siegel says, I agree. Jim Siegel says, I am in Atlanta, by the way. Jim Siegel, I'm sure you've probably told me this, but and I'm sure you probably told me that you're from Atlanta before, but I have the memory of a fly. So once I hit 30, it was like, woo! Yeah, so Uber is bankrupt, no profits. I think that the only thing that is going to help Uber and Lyft really sustain, a lot of people are like, okay with Uber, it seems so far. They're holding out at like $41 or $42 a share right now, but it's anybody's game anyway. I really think that they will still keep dropping. What do you guys think? Do you think they will continue to drop in market share, or do you think it's game over? Somebody said something about Enron. I really have been waiting for Enron, their Enron thing, because seriously, I don't know. I don't know much about stocks and bonds, and I have been trying to. CPN stands for Certificate of Public Necessity. Okay. And then Jim Seago says, no worries, me too. What are you talking about, Certificate of Public Necessity? So I don't know a lot about the stock market, and what I do know, I guess what I'm going to have to do is like watch a whole bunch of videos, but I do have watching YouTube videos is a good idea. It's a better way of teaching yourself, and I feel like, I don't know if you guys know this, but people that get Alzheimer's, um, you have less likely chance of getting Alzheimer's if you try and keep learning throughout your life. And I feel like it's healthy to keep learning throughout your life. Uber drivers in Atlanta will only drive in Buckhead. Yeah, I don't know where Buckhead is. I just know where Cummings, Georgia is. And if Buckhead has all the surge, that's probably why they're driving in Buckhead. If there's all the demand in Buckhead, certainly everybody goes to downtown Chicago and does not like to drive in the South or in the West, where there is a lot of crime in Chicago. And as a woman, if I feel like I'm creeped out in an area, I move, I'll drive a couple, 5-10 minutes and get out of that area. That's my, if you're smart. So if they're in a different area and they feel creeped out by the area, certainly, I don't blame them for going. And only during busy times. Well, that's the whole idea. Uber and Lyft have trained us. Oh, you have to work during busy times in order to make a profit. Some people don't know how to make a profit because they don't know how to work. Well, shoot. I mean, it took me like 3 days of getting working from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon to realize, oh, there's no money between 9 and 1. Yeah, I mean, really, it's harder to, everybody's working right that time. So, I mean, even if you sit downtown, the only place you could go is down to the airport, and then everybody's at the airport for like at noon. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't any flights going out, but you go down to the airport and there's like 200 drivers there. When I started, there wasn't the lot. I wouldn't show up and the lot would be full all the time. Every single time it's full. I barely ever see an empty lot. He says, Jem Seagull says, I know you said you work at night, no traffic. My spouse, when I met my spouse said, you cannot work third shift. I was a third shifter. I love third shift. And that's because I get insomnia and I can't get to sleep. And I have an easier time getting to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning for some reason. But sometimes if I stayed up till 7, then I would pass the witching hour, or 6, and then I would be, I felt like 4 o'clock and 4 and 5 o'clock is when I would get tired, and then I would pass the witching hour and I'd be overly tired, but I'd be not too tired to actually go to sleep. Yeah, he says me too about 6 a.m. But when I worked third shift, I would have to take tons of sleeping pills just to get to sleep. I would have such a hard time getting to sleep once the sun came out again. What if ambulances and police only worked part of the time? Oh, I see what you're saying. If ambulances and police are a different thing altogether. Jim comes on and says, I just smoked a fat one. Why are you coming on saying that? Okay, do you have a medical card? I actually don't have my medical card, but I do have the prescription. I could come on and say, oh, I just smoked a fat one. I don't smoke. I can't smoke. I can't barely breathe. But female stranded at night, call a taxi. Yeah, Jim says yes. Female, here's the deal. I do not, this is the way I live. I try to live my life intelligently. Now, do I make naive mistakes? Yes. There's a difference between naivety and stupidity. Stupidity is when you do something even though you know that the outcome is going to be the same. You do it anyway. You know what the outcome's going to be, and you still do the stupid shit. Okay? Those drivers, we'll talk about those drivers. Okay? Those drivers knew that if they came out and they put their face on camera and they admitted to scamming the system, they knew that they had to have known that was, and maybe they felt so compelled because nowadays, when I first started, I was talking about this Uber and Lyft protest, and nobody wanted to hear about it. And now that everybody's protesting, people are more likely to go, oh yeah, you're doing a good job, Mandy. But when it was unpopular, DriverLadyPro was fighting for your rights as a Uber and Lyft driver, okay, as an activist. I was doing my activist work before it was popular, okay? And what they were doing, though, is they were coming out and they were like admitting that they were scamming the system, and they were putting their face, and that was stupidity, okay? That was stupidity. We are actually scamming, and we're going to talk about it, and the reason why we're scamming, but we have a good reason. We're scamming, but we have a good reason. You don't do that. That's like on the short bus type stuff, okay? I mean, that actually, people on the short bus are probably smarter than to do that, because they don't do, they're less likely to do dishonest stuff, okay? Because I have a lot of friends that are developmentally disabled, and they wouldn't do something like that. They wouldn't be dishonest actively. Not all of them, but a large portion of them wouldn't actively be dishonest. But the whole idea is when you do something unintelligent like that, very stupid, that is different than doing something naive. And naive is you do not have all the information. You didn't know. And you did this thing not knowing. Okay? And so you didn't know, and then you made a decision not knowing all of the information. That is naive. And so when you make a decision, a naive decision, you have that, I feel personally, you still have your integrity, because you're not trying to get over on somebody, and you don't have the cards laid out, and you're not doing something stupid like hitting your head against the wall like these drivers did. You see what I mean? There's a difference between doing naive stuff and doing stupid crap like the drivers did. That was stupid. And I know that I felt like I understood that they felt like they were jumping on the, oh, we don't get paid enough bus. And the sad thing is when you get on the we don't get paid enough bus and you try to pull over some shady crap, then you get put in this basket like, oh, there's a chance that they put all drivers, oh, well, you just are scammers. I don't think everybody thinks that, but it's just not a good idea to put a negative light in the sense that we're all scammers. I would rather do a protest at the airport and have everybody ticked off because they did not get to work on time, or they did not get to dinner on time with their families, because we protested and we held back all the other Uber drivers from getting out of the lot. And we protested, and we did this big protest for attention to show that we are not getting paid enough, okay? We shut off. We weren't intentionally trying to scam the system. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to highlight the fact that we're not getting paid. That's not scamming, you know. So what is that a naive thing? No. But it's not a fraudulent thing either. Maybe it's not, somebody won't like it, but all right. So Jesus Christ. All right. Jesus Christ says, someone tell Mel Gibson I wanted a sequel movie like John Wick, Passion of the Christ 2, Crucify This. Awesome, dude. We welcome you, but I don't know if you're an Uber driver, or Jesus, what are you doing nowadays? Are you delivering for DoorDash? Tell us. Okay. In a civilized city, a taxi is as necessary as fire trucks and ambulances. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are still bitter against the taxis, but I'm not at all bitter because I feel like they're our brothers. These taxi drivers, and I feel like, okay, Ubers are not as experienced as taxi drivers. So I understood why we got paid less, because we're using a navigation system where these taxi drivers, they know the city, they know where that address is, they are more experienced, they can get you from point A to point B the fastest way, you know what I mean? Whereas Uber drivers, they mess up. That's what I've always felt. I don't know about you. Uber drivers are more likely to mess up because they don't know the city as well. And maybe now that I do know a lot of Uber drivers that are really good and really know their way around. But when Uber came out, I was like, wow, these people are using the navigation. They don't need to know the city, you know. No criminals pose as Uber drivers at airports looking for victims. That is hard to do when they have to paint their cars like taxis. Good night, sweets. Gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning. Good night, Truth Warrior. It was fun. He's probably already sleeping by the time I get to. Taxi meters are inspected by the cities. Not a cab in the house. Okay, this is what I personally feel. I don't know if you feel like this, but when I see people coming in the lot and their cars look all jacked up in the lot, I feel like the city needs to be doing the inspections, because what Uber and Lyft is saying, oh, you can go to any mechanic. Not all mechanics are the same. I think that the cities needs to be doing the inspections. Uber and Lyft pay $1,000 per year, $100,000 per year to be at Atlanta Airport. Do the math. So GN in the house. GN. Taxis are very undesired service in Chicago. Most taxi and livery drivers are street terrorists, no regards for human life and property. TX stands for terrible experience. Scott Walsh, Ubers just sit in traffic. Taxi drivers know the shortcuts and the fastest way to get where. So I'm not going to get this. I don't want to get into this debate. Well, I mean, you can tell me if you like taxis or you don't like taxis. I'll tell you what my experience is. In my hometown, I would call a taxi, and I'd say I have to be there by 3 o'clock. I call a taxi, and they would never come pick me up at 2 like I asked them, so that I could be there by 3. They would come whenever they damn well pleased, and that is because there was a shortage of taxis. Okay, so they need to be figuring out they need to be putting a little bit more. The reason why the Uber did so well is because they actually made up for how much there's not a lot of there's not enough taxis on in the city. There's not enough. People are waiting for hours just to get a taxi. Okay. Especially if they need to go to work, they're less reliable. And there's other things like they're not as clean. They're not as hospitable. You know, they're not trying to get that 5-star rating. All that. All right. But with that said, there are some good things about taxis. And I don't want to say blah to all taxis, because I do have a couple taxi driver friends and they're good people. So I can't say all taxis are scum of the earth. The people that I know that are taxi drivers, they are good, genuinely wonderful people, and I've met, and it's sad that taxi drivers are so bitter to us. But what needs to happen for both Uber and for the taxis is there needs to be a cap on the Uber, so that the taxis don't have as hard of a time. Uber just sits in traffic. Okay, we already did that one. GN says, I like non-terrorist taxis only. They constantly fail the vehicle state code set forth by the state of Illinois, but no one ever cared. I don't know about that. I don't know. From my understanding, the taxis have to be regulated. From my understanding, the taxi drivers probably have to be fingerprinted, because they have a commercial driver's license. They are commercial drivers, whereas we're not commercial drivers. We're just, whatever. Sky is loaded with facts and random knowledge. Dude, a human encyclopedia. Taxis make a profit, and taxi cabs were never meant to be a ride to a minimum wage job. Or the bus. Here's the thing. If Uber and Lyft do actually put their prices higher, they will see a decline in customers. And the reason is because a lot of people, instead of taking the bus, which might be a lot cheaper to take the bus, they can have a comfortable Uber ride show up at their door. So that's why they're so cheap. So Uber will see a decline in clientele. But if they raise their prices, they will see more profitability. If they continue to do this stuff, they will have problems with their drivers not getting paid enough, and they're going to have troubles in the courts, because this classification thing is not going to go away. I know they paid drivers off just recently, but it's going to end up going to I have been working on I'm working on a state level to try to get this laws changed. Okay, this is not going to go away. We already had Bernie Sanders say this is BS. Right now it's okay, but we cannot have people signing on to be slaves. A large portion of our drivers get Medicaid, and some get food stamps even. Okay, and that is the government supplementing. Government is supplementing. These drivers pay. They should get paid so good that they can't afford to get food stamp or Medicaid. They shouldn't. Most taxi drivers are orangutans who just fell down off the palm tree. Their space in pig pen. Okay. If that's what you believe, good deal. Would you rather Uber switch to a monthly fee of, let's say, $50 for a driver or use their app, that would be a win-win if you drive a lot. Ace Ramon says SSI, Medicaid, SNAP. Yeah. Here. Yeah, exactly. You can expense so much away of your stuff away that it looks like you do have a job, but you don't make enough to even pay nothing. So basically you end up qualifying for Medicaid and Medicare because you're operating at a loss. And so if you operate at a loss, guess what? You get Medicaid and Medicare and SSI. You know what I mean? Is that right? No, it shouldn't. The government shouldn't have to supplement these workers. I mean, it was guesstimated 40%. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. London black cabs are the best in the world. I'm sure they are. Says Scott Walsh. Have to go to the SSI office tomorrow morning for their BS. Ace, I just applied for Social Security disability. I don't know if I have to go and apply for, maybe you can answer this. I don't know if I have to apply for Medicare now. Let me know do I have to go separately and apply for Medicare? I don't know. Why so much taxi drivers bashing? They are people too. Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like that we're all the same. I feel like we're all the same. They say I'm an employee of Uber. Medicare is when you are retired, but don't you get Medicare if you're disabled? I have a friend that is not retired and she gets Medicare. She's 50. She can't be retired. I'll just go down there because I think I can qualify for Medicare if you're disabled. If you want to start taxi company because the taxi cabs wouldn't pick you up, you can. So they won't take out my expenses. They say all my Uber check is income and they will take half. Yes. Okay, so they will take half of your expenses. They will take half of your Uber check. Well, I don't know about all that, but I have to read more about Social Security and Social Security disability. I don't know if you can actually, I know if you have Social Security disability, you can work a little bit, I think, or something. You can work a little bit, but you have to be, I don't know. I have to look into it. I don't know. That's what I should say. Better than, making a guess and saying, oh yes, this is true. I've seen people do that, come out and put the insert mouth, put foot in mouth. Like $400, they take half, so I would have 200. If I have 200 expenses, and I make nothing. There's SSI and SSDI, big difference. Yeah, I am getting Social Security disability, so I'll look into it. I don't know if I can even work on Social Security disability. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get it until November. And I'm like, what the F? Not until November? Really? Seriously? Not until November? I have to be broke. So I'm going to be doing something. I'm probably going to be doing some Uber driving because that's about the only thing I can do. Better to have SSDI, yeah. You make more money doing SSDI. So I don't know how all of that works, but they did give me a booklet to read, but I'm not big on reading long booklets, This is the thing with Uber. Okay, you guys, when I signed up for Uber, I mean, did this not happen to you? They give you this, before they used to give you pages and pages that you'd have to read in the app. Oh, okay, go out there, but here's a bunch of crap to read. And it wasn't even good stuff. It would just say, well, you got to go out there and be kind. Well, we all know you have to be kind and nice. It wouldn't give you good stuff to read. Not all cities are equal. Chicago has good pizza, right? I don't know. Each, Chicago style pizza. Chicago has Chicago style pizza, but I just heard, I'm originally from Michigan, and I heard that Detroit, I'm from the other side of the state, but Detroit has a style of pizza. And I guess there's a New York, we have a New York slices here. There's a New York style of pizza. So just because they have a Chicago style pizza doesn't necessarily mean the pizza is wonderful here. If you like that style, you like deep dish. I like any kind of pizza. Pizza is good, but I really love pizza. I'm just a pizza freak. I could eat it every day. I worked at Domino's and I worked at Papa John's, and I just loved working there. Oh, ate the heck out of the pizzas that got messed up. I'd be like, yeah. Even the Hawaii, I'm not big on the Hawaiian pizzas. I'd take off the pineapple. That's what I was thinking of. The pineapple, I'd eat it like that. Even though I didn't like having because you can still taste the pineapple on it, but still I would eat it like that because I love pizza. I absolutely love it. I don't know about you. Do you love pizza? Tell me. You guys don't want to hear about how I love pizza, I'm sure. Do you love, and I've asked this before of everybody. Let me know. Do you like pineapple on your pizza? Yes or no? So. Oh, Ace says, okay, Ace, he says he'll chat with me somewhere else. Ace, what you got to do, I am not going to give my personal information here, but you can email me at driverladypro@gmail.com. And then I won't put my phone number on here, but I'll give you my phone number. I'm on Facebook. I'm Mandy Martinez on Facebook, and then parentheses Driver Lady Pro. So because there's so many Mandy Martinez, so all you have to do is do Mandy Martinez and then Driver Lady Pro after it, and you'll be able to find me. And it's a little dry. It's the same as my little watermark. Hitchhiking was popular in early 70s. Hitchhiking, yeah. And then they found out it was dangerous after Ted Bundy or whoever it was that was killing. Was it Ted Bundy? I don't remember which one was the one that was killing, the serial hitchhiker killer. After a while, yeah. But there's still people that would do all the hitchhiking, and then they would still, to this day, they'll be like, oh, I'll just hitchhike. Yeah. Seeing a urologist tomorrow. I have a high PSA result. I'm scared. Wish me luck. Okay. I don't know what a PSA result is, but all the worry in the world is not going to help you. And I had to realize that. At first when I got the results that I have cancer, of course I cried and I was scared, but and that's normal. Okay, it would be abnormal not to act like that, but I am the only one that can change my mind, and I choose not to be miserable. So I would try my very best to turn on cartoons or do something to distract myself. I would actively, because you can either be your biggest cheerleader or you can be your worst enemy. Okay, so everybody tries to help me out and give me lots of advice about how to get rid of cancer. And I really appreciate that, and I see that as loving gestures. People are being loving to me, and they're trying to help me. And there's so much information. I've tried a large portion of all of them, but I can't do all of them. But if you do get a cancer, if it does end up being cancer, please, buddy, I got you. We can do this together. Okay. I'm not saying it will be. We don't know what it will be. My spouse just recently had my wife had her arm blow up right here. And I was like, what the F? And I thought it was breast cancer. That's the first thing my mind did. I said, oh, it's breast cancer. And I'm like, how can I have cancer and my wife have cancer? And then guess what I found out? It was because she had this tetanus shot a few days before, and it messed with her lymph nodes. And I'm every night I'm having to push this down. And yeah, yes, stay positive, watch cartoons, or do positive things, stay distracted. I mean, it's important to be real with yourself. If the doc says, when the doc said to me, I'm going to die, people were like, you're being so negative. No, I'm not being negative. The doc said this is what's going to happen. I'm not going to live forever. Okay? That's what he said. I'm not being negative. He's saying I'm not going to live forever. But the idea is I can either live forever and worry the shit out of myself over it, or I can choose to change my own mind, because the only one that can change your own mind is you. A lot of people were like, you made me feel. No, I didn't make you feel anything. You chose to feel that. People will get upset if I say that. But I am the one that chooses my emotions and my thoughts. Okay? And if I have a tendency to get emotional over certain things, of course I'm going to get emotional, but that doesn't mean I have to continue on that, downward roll. I can some things, sometimes crap happens and your emotions start rolling down the hill. But at some point in time, you can say, wait, I don't want to be miserable, or I want to be a positive person. I want to live with purpose, and I want to enjoy the time that I have here. So the worry is not going to help you. And I would say just try not to kick yourself in the butt, and not to sit there and go, well, I ate too many Slim Jims, or try to kick yourself. I personally I try not to do that. Oh, I didn't eat the right thing. No, I'm not beating myself up isn't going to help me. It's not going to help me get better. What is going to help me get better is what? This right here. And you say, Mandy, what? Let me get my other sword. Sorry. What does a Jedi sword have to do with getting better? This keeps me distracted. I enjoy myself, okay? That is how I get better. It's about what's going on up here. It's not about you know what I mean? If I keep I go to the dollar store and buy squirt guns. I live with kids, and we have sword fights all the time, and we play with, we're going to go to Six Flags and do fun things. And so my point is, no matter what, if I'm facing death, and I can get through it, we all can get through it. But it's about taking charge of your own mind. And if you say, you made me feel like this, then you're being the victim. If you realize that you're choosing to feel like that, then you're taking charge of your own mind, and you are putting yourself in charge and saying, look, I don't want to be sad no more. I'm sick of being sad. Because I'm sick of being sad. I was depressed. I'm on heavy depression medication because I am a depressed person. And yeah, exactly. She says you create your own. I have been suffering from depression since I was 23, and I'm on heavy depression medication. And part of the reason is because I've been on it. So, but when I get off of it, I am super messed up. I end up in. They changed my medication once, and I ended up in. They changed it to generic, and I ended up in the mental hospital. It was last May. Okay, so I'm telling you, uh, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, you get on depression medication, but before, the person I was when I was 23 and I got on that depression medication, I was like one of these people like, oh, I need to die. I had this defeatist, and I've been doing actively, darn cat, I've been actively changing my own thought and saying, okay, I don't have to go, oh, I might as well die. No, 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 no. I don't have to be my own worst enemy. So, all right, let me see what everybody's saying in the room. Okay. A positive mind is the cure for wellness, says Scott Walsh. Uberman Tampa says, love the sword. Most people who die with cancer are killed by the treatment. Use the force. The force. Sorry. The lightsaber at Disney will be $200 opening of Star Wars. You create your own destiny, says Uberman Tampa. Scott Walsh, life, things will get better. Uberman Tampa, did my friend ever call you, Mandy? Did I give you my number? Did I give you I didn't get a call, but did I give you a number? Did you ever hear of an Indian with cancer? I don't know a lot of Indians. Yes, I have your number. Okay, so you gave it to your friend, but I don't think I got a call from your friend. If I did, a lot of times if your friend calls me, of course, a lot of people do this. They don't answer the phone. They don't answer the phone when it's an unknown number. So all your friend would have to do is leave a message, and of course I'll call back. I'm out of water. He says, I will tell her to call. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are telling me she's going to be 317 317 area code. Okay. I really believe that this treatment, let me just tell you, now that we're like off the subject of what started this whole thing. We're going on 2 hours. This is and I've left it on because like at one point we had like almost 20 people in the room and we got 31 likes. I'm trying to go for 100 likes. If you are the 100th person and you smash that like button, please make sure that you put your name in the comments below, so I know you were the 100th person, so you can pick out my background. I will put the color. If you want paisley, we'll put paisley. Okay, she's going to be, oh wait, if your life is difficult, it's because you are meant for bigger purpose. Yeah, this is the way I feel about this world. Scott Walsh says, I'm a taxi driver and I will always be here for you. I didn't know, I think you mentioned that you're a taxi driver. Let me grab a water, guys. I couldn't remember if you had mentioned that you were a taxi driver before or not, but or I think I remember you saying you were a taxi driver, but I didn't remember exactly. I really enjoy not just having just Uber and Lyft drivers here. So I appreciate you coming to this channel, um, because I like diversity. I love diversity. My slogan is 24-hour service for nice people. um, I'll get it later. We're doing a live stream. This is the way I feel. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about life problems and stuff like that. My slogan is, I ain't doing it. Of course. And then you forgot to leave the F, the F word in there, because he's usually he usually is the cursor, swears, and he usually ends up getting whatever he's saying blocked out, and I have to say it for him, because I have it set on my things to block out anybody that swears on my channel, or block out what they're saying on my channel, and then I have to read it for him. But a lot of people have been approaching me, no, for my merchandise, I left the F-bomb out. Oh, okay. Oh, I gotta put the charger on the phone, because it is getting low. Yeah. But we've been doing this for 2 hours now, and I really appreciate spending time with you guys. I don't know, 2 hours is a long stream, but here, there we go. But I'm having so much fun. Do you like Tim the Toolman Taylor? Yeah. More power, yeah. Oh, of course I love Tim the Toolman Taylor. I used to watch it all the time. Yeah. Asking, do you love Madonna? Of course I love Madonna. Do you love Eminem? Of course I love Eminem. Do I like Ted Nugent? Yeah, his music is good. I don't like some of his beliefs, but he's a good guy. I try to look at everybody positive. I have like a Buddhist type mindset. I try to be loving to everyone, and loving and kind, even to my enemies. Okay. 2 hours, a little thought of cancer. Yeah. I just, it is important, if you get a medical scare, it's all about, you don't know what's going to happen. And even, I'm not kidding you. It was probably just a couple days ago, my wife had her, she got results back, and they said, oh, nothing is wrong with her arm on that side, but we got to check the other side. And I'm like, well, I was worried about the side that's all blown up, and I got all scared for nothing. I'm like, why did I get all scared for nothing? So you just never know. And what it happens to do is it spends time in your mind, and you let it rent space in your mind. That's something I was in AA for a long time. I thought I was an alcoholic. And they were like, are you going to let it rent space in your mind? And I'm like, I guess not. I am the one that chooses to let things rent space in my mind. But even to this day, I fall short, and I'm like letting this crap rent space in my mind, So I understand when somebody else is in those same shoes, because I do it myself, Madonna Virgin, touched for the very first time. Do you remember when she came out with like a prayer, and it was so controversial. It was super controversial. And then I was thinking the other day, I was watching, was it, what's his name, Colbert or something? Somebody has a talk show, right? He's a comedian, and he has a talk show, and he was doing it with Bruce Willis. And on the talk show, he goes, I don't believe you. You're 60 years old. I don't believe you do all your stunts. And then they started fighting and throwing things, and everybody's like, whoa. And they're like pushing each other. And I'm like, man, I need to do like a big fake fight like that. But I can't physically do that. But, you know, it used to be on YouTube, they would get into fights just so that they could get more people to view their channel. It would draw more viewers to their channel, and that's how they ramped themselves up, is they would just do these big they would start talking trash about each other, and then people would go to that channel, blah 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 blah, and then talking trash about this per blah blah blah, you know. It would cause them, back in the day. Now you can get in trouble if you're trash talking another Uber, really genuinely being, you know, a butthead and say things against the terms of service. You can lose your channel because of it. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have a big, maybe we could have a big fake sword fight. My favorite thing, I don't know if you guys do like this, but have you ever seen the guy walking down the sidewalk, and he throws somebody a sword, and then all of a sudden they break out into sword fight? We need to do that. Or mud wrestling. Woohoo! Wouldn't it be cool to do a sword fight? Me doing a sword fight with Dave the Uber slave, or doing a sword fight with my buddy, what's his name? Dark Road Run. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Dark Road Run. Come here we go. This is my call out to Dark Road Run. Dark Road Run. When you're back from Japan, you need to come to the dark side so we can fight. That would be cool. That would be cool. Okay. It's important to focus on the good things. He said you didn't finish the comment. I'm sorry. What was my comment? I have to finish. Let's start Uber bum fight at the airport. Oh, guess what, guys? I have to go get my spouse. I gotta call it a night. I want to see that, says Jim. Use spring water. All right, guys, I gotta call it a night. All right, I gotta go get my spouse. Haven't seen you live in a while. Hey, Jay, I was just wrapping it up. I had my spouse is calling. I have to go get my spouse. That's my new job, is bringing spouse to work, picking spouse up. Yeah. All right, I gotta go. Have a great night. Nice seeing you guys. Make sure you give me a likes. Have a great night. Thumbs up. We're going for 100. All right, bye.